They make a nice little sound there, don't they?
Ah, yeah, they're happy. They've been stuck in all night, you know.
Right. I've got some little chocks. Once we get that set up, I'll. So is the bottom full of those?
The bottom, I put bees in the bottom there.
You put bees in the bottom?
Yeah. Put about 3 frames in the bottom there.
Nothing.
We've still got a little bit of space to expand on the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gordon's explained these are the new hives. They're made of polystyrene. They're brilliant. Excellent for transporting. And he's setting up a brand new hive here. So that's what he's been doing, just putting some frames in top and bottom so they've gone up in the downstairs and bringing new bees into this particular area. He's got another hive lower down, which is an established hive with plenty of bees in. You can hear the humming noise they're making. I don't know if you can see all the bees flying around there. There's quite a few here. Will that not hold water, that top bit, the way it is?
Sorry?
Will that not hold water if it rained?
Hopefully I can get it to flow that way.
We'll pack the back up to do that,
Yeah.
right, that's fine. Put that bit of wood at the back, it'll just tilt it slightly, and then I'll pack it all properly when I get it set. I've got some more little bits.
Just a fraction, John.
I've just pulled a piece off. I don't know where the hell I put it. it is. That's a nice thin bit. You'd be able to snap that.
I've got it. John, I'll just pack it with that.
Right.
Lovely.
That's
Lovely.
good. That's one set up.
You see that bee there fanning? Standing at the front of the hive and it's fanning.
Yeah.
That's telling the other bees where the hive is now.
All
and
right.
They're all going in because the pheromone's coming out of the queen bee.
Ah, I see.
So they're smelling the pheromone and they're knowing where to go.
Ah, that's great. It's interesting. Ah, they're all heading into it.
So we'll leave them to settle down, John.
Brilliant. Is this bottom one set up? It's like a half extension you've got on top of there already, isn't it?
It's a feeder box, John.
All right. So
When they've been just coming on, I've been feeding them some sugar syrup.
yeah.
It's just a 50-50 sugar and water mix,
Right.
and that'll feed them and just help them along.
Aye, when the weather hasn't been so
Because the
good.
weather's been that poor, and it's just
Yeah. Weather's affected everything.
yeah, it's just to give them that little bit of a boost, you know. So that's the feed on there, John. The bees will come up through a little port
Yeah.
here,
Yeah. You can hear them, see them in there.
down through this mesh here,
Yeah.
and this area is normally filled up with sugar syrup, and they will just help themselves to the syrup
Yeah.
and then back down into the
Back through.
hive. So
Yeah, that's interesting.
good thing I don't have to go into the hive to top the sugar feed
Yeah,
up, which
yeah.
is good for me. And it's what they call it. The design has come from the Fat Bee man
All right.
in America. He designs these, and I've just copied his design because it's one of the best you can get, you know.
Ah, that's brilliant.
I mean, you can see all the little
Ah, you can
bees
see them there. There's
coming up here to check it out.
very interesting.
Because they're quite a way on now, I'm going to take that feeder away from
Yeah,
them,
that's fine.
and they can fend for themselves.
Yeah, they're good. This is an established hive, this one. Roughly how many bees will be in this hive?
Oh, you're talking about at least 20 to 25,000 bees in
Yeah.
this little hive here. And they'll expand when I put the top one up. Probably go up to 30, 35.
Will they breed or will they attract new ones as well?
They'll breed, John. The queen roughly lays about 1,000 eggs a day.
Does?
So you've got to give them plenty of room to expand.
Yeah, yeah.
So what you've got here is like, you've got all the eggs which are capped.
Yeah.
They'll be hatching out as young bees very shortly. You can see down here, there's new brood where the queen's just laid.
Yeah, yeah.
The little like pearly whites in the bottom of there.
That's right. So that's like the egg, is it?
That's the egg and it's coming in onto a larvae.
Uh-huh.
So they'll hatch out, they'll get capped off like these ones here. And then the next stage is hatching from there, you know.
Fantastic.
Along the side, bit of nectar along the top.
Yeah.
They do it in this sort of rainbow style,
I've seen that before.
so it's easier to feed from each direction.
Fantastic.
A little bit of yellow in there, which is pollen.
Yeah.
Again, that'll feed the bees. A bit pollen on the outside. So you can imagine these will all hatch out. When they've hatched, it gives that all that space to lay.
Yeah.
So she'll just lay the eggs in there, and then again that starts.
She'll refill the same.
She'll just refill them again until the latter end of the year, when the brood starts to die down a little bit, and then they'll start filling it all with honey.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, mate.
Isn't it?
Aye. See how calm they are as well. That'll be until you start walking past and then they'll have you. He's been coming here for a few years and my dog's still gone berserk when they see him.
Again, there's a lovely
That is a good.
laying pattern, so you've got a beautiful
Yeah.
queen in here. She's filled nearly every single cell on there.
Aye, that's
There's
brilliant.
only 1 or 2 cells where she hasn't hit,
Yeah, that will be
which is-
attached.
and again she's filling them. She's back
Aye,
filling
yeah,
them
you can
straight
see that,
away.
aye, brilliant.
See the little larvae in the bottom of that. So nice little queen, calm.
Fantastic, yeah.
It's just a shame we never get to see the queens, John, is
I
it, every
know,
time I
that's
come
right.
down here.
Aye.
Again on the other side, exactly the same.
Aye, it's
Beautiful
brilliant.
laying pattern, beautiful queen.
Good.
Yeah, pollen, honey.
Do the queens die or do they move on?
Well, the queen stays in the box all the time.
Yeah.
Unless she gets to a certain age, probably about 3 or 4 years old, and they'll notice our laying started to slow down a little bit,
Right.
and from there they'll make a new queen, and she'll hatch out, and you'll want to leave, and you'll get a new fertile queen in there. These are just blank frames.
Yeah, and we'll fill those up as well.
What will happen is they'll add the wax
Yeah.
on this,
Yeah.
and they'll just pull that out into the cells that you now see.
Ah, right. Isn't it? If a bee dies in the frame, do the other ones throw it out the box?
They've all got a little task,
Uh-huh.
and it depends when they're born.
Uh-huh.
So that their first duty when they're born is probably look after the queen.
Yeah.
And then from there on, they'll do different tasks like we have in our society. Like
Yeah.
they'll have an undertaker,
Aye.
which will bring the dead bees out and drop them somewhere else because they don't want to have the dead
That's
in
right.
the hive, because
That's amazing.
there's such a big turnover of deaths and
Yeah.
births in a hive, you know. It's not till the latter 2 weeks of their life
Uh-huh.
which will actually leave the hive and start foraging for honey, nectar
Yeah,
and
nectar.
pollens and things like that, you know.
Aye, amazing.
So they're in the hive until the last
Aye.
2 weeks, and then
So what's the average lifespan of a normal bee?
a normal bee this time of year is probably only about 6 weeks.
Is it?
Yeah, it's as short as that.
So they've got to be breeding all the time.
Yeah, you can imagine there's a great turnover, John.
Mm-hmm.
Maar dat zeg ik niet meer. En dan
I'm on video for you. Just because you've got a few women.
maar dat was een
Excellent.
So that's them settled in their new home.
That's brilliant. And what that's for is for them to come through here, come in here, all the onions just starting to go to seed. They're not open yet, but there'll be loads and loads of allium. They love allium, but they also love foxglove, borage. I've got quite a variety of stuff in here. There's some borage just starting to open, and the bees get in here. We'll see them once they have settled in. Within the next couple of days, they'll be in here and pollinating all the heads as they start to open. Seed heads are they're just popping up. Leek heads just starting to pop up now. A lot of them are still young down in the centres like this. But the onions, most of them have got heads on. We just need them to grow up to the full height and pop open. The first one's opened up there, as you can see. As that flower starts to open, the bees will land on it and do all the pollination I'm looking for. Very interesting. Cheers, thanks a lot now, bye.